It's dramatic. It really is. Because your story didn't just break my heart. It shattered it in a way I didn't see coming. And here's the thing that's making my chest tight right now. Your soul delighted my heart in the exact same breath. No, I'm not talking about some spiritual bypass or toxic positivity. I'm talking about the kind of contradiction that actually makes sense when you have been through something that should have wrecked you, and somehow it didn't. Not completely. Not the part of you that actually matters. And I want to say a lot of things. And I need you to pause for a second right now. Take a real breath and feel what I'm about to say. Because this isn't surface level. This is deep. This is the kind of thing that comes up when you have been sitting with someone's energy, not even in person, just the echo of what you have been through. And you realize you are feeling something that doesn't quite fit into words. But I'm going to try anyway. You have been through something that left marks. Not the kind of that show on the outside. Not the kind you can point to and say, see, right there. But the kind that live in a way you hold your shoulders, the way you scan a room before you fully enter it, the way you measure your words before you let them out. That's real. And that's not paranoia. That's not overreacting. That's not being too sensitive. That's your nervous system remembering something your brain tried to file away as over. And here is what I see that's breaking my heart wide open. You were never the problem. You were never the one who needed fixing, who needed to shrink, who needed to apologize for taking up space. But someone convinced you otherwise, didn't they? Someone made you believe that your reactions were the issue, that your truth was inconvenient, that your truth was too messy to be loud, to be told out loud. And the worst part, they didn't even do it loudly. They did it quietly, consistently, with a kind of patience that makes my stomach turn. Because the people who broke your heart didn't do it all at once. They did it in pieces, in small moments, in comments that seemed almost caring, almost concerned, almost well-intentioned. They told you things like, you are too intense, you are too emotional, you are making a big deal out of nothing. And you believed them. Because why wouldn't you? They seemed like they knew what they were talking about. They seemed like they had your best interests at heart. They seemed like they were on your side, but they were not. And you know that now. You can feel it in your bones, in the way your body responds when you think about certain people, certain places, certain times in your whole life. Your body knew before your mind did. It was trying to tell you, but you were not ready to hear it. Or maybe you were, and you just didn't have the language for it, didn't have the permission to say, this is wrong. This is wrong, when everybody around you was saying, This is fine. This is right. The thing about your story, about a story that breaks your heart, is that it stays with you, doesn't it? It doesn't just vanish when you decide you are done with it. It settles into the background, becomes part of the furniture of your mind, shows up in unexpected moments. Like you will do something. You will be doing something completely mundane, making coffee or walking down the street, and suddenly you are back there, feeling it all over again. And the hardest part is that most people don't see it. They see a person who seems fine, who's functioning, who's getting through the day, and they assume everything's okay. But it's not, is it? It's not real, not yet. But then, and this is the part that actually making me tear up as I'm saying this. Your soul delighted my heart. Not because you are perfect or because you are healed perfectly or because you've done everything right. No, because you stayed soft. And everything, after the betrayals and the gaslighting and the isolation and the moments you were genuinely thought you might not make it, you stayed soft. You stayed open. You stayed willing to feel. That's not weakness. That's the most radical, fierce, undeniable thing a person can do. That's choosing to stay alive in the most fundamental sense. That's refusing to let someone else's cruelty become your identity. That's looking at a world that has repeatedly shown you that it can be brutal and deciding against all evidence to remain tender. And I need to say this clearly. That's not something everyone can do. That's not something that comes naturally or easily. That's something that costs you. It costs you sleep. It costs you peace. It costs you moments of genuine joy that feel complicated because there is still so much unresolved. But you did it anyway. And that's what I'm seeing when I say your soul delighted my heart. I'm seeing someone who didn't become what they done, what was done to them. I'm seeing someone who held onto their own light even when everyone around them was trying to blow it out. So, let me tell you what I'm actually sensing right now. Because this isn't just about you healing alone in a vacuum. This is about the community, the people around you, the ones who saw what happened and chose not to act, and what's happening to them now. So, something is shifting. It's been building for a while, moving slowly, almost imperceptibly. Like the tectonic plates that shift a fraction of an inch and eventually cause the ground to crack. People are starting to realize that the version of events they were sold isn't adding up. They are starting to look back at the things that were said about you, the accusations that were made, the character that was assigned it in small conversations, like over coffee or on social media, and in whispered tones at gatherings. And you know what they are finding? They are finding the person who presented themselves as the victim, as the wounded party, as the one who was wronged. That person's story is full of holes. Holes that are getting bigger by the day. Holes that cannot be patched up with more lies or more deflection or more shifting the blame onto you. Some of them are realizing they were used. Yeah, they were pawns in someone else's game, someone else's need to control the narrative, to maintain a certain image, to destroy anyone who threatened that image. And that doesn't feel good to realize. It feels sickening. It feels like waking up from a dream and finding out the reality is worse than the nightmare. And here's the thing about these people, the ones who participated in breaking your story without ever once stopping to ask if there was another side, if there was more to the picture, if perhaps the person they were so quick to judge had been through things they couldn't possibly understand. They feel like it's too late now. They feel like they are already chosen their side, already said the things, already done them damage. They feel like there is no way back, no way undo, no way to make it right. But they are wrong, not about the damage they did. That's real and it's lasting and it doesn't just disappear because they feel guilty about it now. But they are wrong about it being too late for them to change, to grow, to become something other than what they were. The question is whether they are willing to do the actual work, not the public performance of regret, not the social media post about growth, not the half-hearted apology that puts more responsibility on you than on themselves. The real work, the uncomfortable, unglamorous, deeply personal work of looking at their own choices and, of course, asking themselves hard questions. And I'll be honest with you, most of them are not going to do it. Yeah, unfortunately, most of them are going to sit in their discomfort, let it fester, let it become bitterness and resentment and defensiveness. They are going to double down on the old narrative because it's easier than accepting that they were wrong. They are going to find new reasons to blame you, new ways to justify their choices, new versions of the story that make them look like the good guys again. But some of them will not. Yeah, some of them will not. Some of them are going to feel like their hearts cracking open in a way they never experienced before. They are going to realize that their silence, their inaction, their willingness to go along with a story they knew deep down was incomplete. That was a choice. And they made it. They made it because it was easier, because they didn't want to rock the boat, because they didn't want to lose their peace in whatever social hierarchy they were clinging to, because they were afraid of what would happen if they spoke up. And I need you to feel that for a moment, to breathe through it, because it might be tempting to look at those people and feel contempt, feel anger, feel the righteous satisfaction of wanting them finally get what they deserve. And I'm not going to tell you not to feel that. You are entitled to every single feeling that comes up in you. But I'm also going to tell you that your story breaking my heart and your soul delighting my heart are not separate things. They are the same things. They say the same contradiction, the same impossible truth. That someone can hurt you and you can still be someone who feels, someone who loves, someone who believes in redemption. Not for them, not necessarily, but for themselves. You have to understand that your transformation, the one that's happening right now, this minute, this hour, is not something that just happened to you. It's something you participated in. You made choices, you made hard ones. There were times when you didn't want to get out of bed, when you didn't want to face the world. And when you didn't want to pretend anymore. And you got up anyway. You faced it anyway. You pretended. You fake it until you could actually feel it. And now you are in a different place. Not a perfect place. No, not a perfect place. Not a place where everything is resolved and you are tied up with a neat little bow. But a place where you know yourself better than you did before. A place where you just trust your own perceptions more than anyone else tells you. A place where you can look at someone who hurt you and feel not just the pain, not just the anger, not just the injustice, but something else too. Something that's harder to name, something that's almost like compassion, not for what they did, but for the fact that they are stuck, that they are so afraid of seeing themselves clearly that they will keep doing the same things all over and over again, over and over and over again. That's your soul delighting my heart. That is your soul delighting my heart. The part that kept space for complexity, for nuance, for the possibility that people can change, even if most of them don't. The part that knows that holding on to bitterness doesn't actually hurt the person you're bitter at. It only hurts you. And you refuse to keep hurting yourself. Let me tell you what's going to happen next, because I want you to be prepared for it. I want you to have your eyes wide open. I want you to know what's coming so that when it arrives, you are not caught off guard. People are going to start reaching out. Some of them are going to do it subtly. A comment on a post, a like on an old photo, a message that's vague enough that it could be interpreted multiple ways. Some of them are going to be more direct, more explicit in their regret, more elaborate in their explanations. They are going to want to meet you for coffee, have a conversation, clear the air. So, whatever phrase they use to describe what they want to do, they are going to tell you they have changed. They have grown. They see things differently now. They are going to ask for your forgiveness, your time, your attention, and the part of you, some part of you, that's been waiting for this, that's been hoping for this, that's wanted nothing more than to be seen and believed and apologized to. That part is going to be activated. It's going to want to say yes. It's going to want to accept the apology, to move forward, to let the past to be the past. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with wanting reconciliation, wanting healing, wanting to pull down the weight you have been carrying. But I need you to hold on to something. I need you to remember that you don't owe them anything. You don't owe them a response. You don't owe them access to you, to yourself, to your time, to your life, to your story, your healing process. If they want to make amends, that's their work, that's their journey, that's their choice. Your job is not to make them feel okay about what they did or didn't do. Your job is to take care of yourself first. And here is where the selfishness comes in, the good kind. Because the people who are reaching out now, the ones who are suddenly so interested in your well-being, so concerned about your forgiveness, so eager to tell you that they were wrong, they are not doing this for you. That's uncomfortable truth. You are doing it, they are doing it for themselves only. They are trying to resolve their own guilt, their own shame, their own discomfort. They want to be able to look at themselves in the mirror and feel okay again. And that's fine. That's human. That's understandable. But it's not your problem to solve. You get to decide who you let back in. And you get to decide what the terms are. You get to set boundaries that protect your peace, your energy, your continued healing. You get to say, not right now, or not ever, or yes, but differently. And whatever you choose, whatever feels right for you in this moment, you are not wrong. Because the thing about having your heart broken by story is that it opens you up to something else too. It opens you up to understanding, to empathy, to the realization that you are not the only one who's been through this. There are so many people walking around with stories like yours. Not the same details, not the same cast of characters, but the same pain, the same betrayal, the same long road back to believing in themselves again. And those people need to see someone come out the other side. They need to see someone who didn't just survive, but who built something new. They need to see someone who created a life that doesn't require anyone else's approval. They need to see someone who can look back at the darkest time and say, that happened. And I'm still here. I'm still me. And I'm still whole. You are that person. Whether you feel it or not, you are. You're the example of what happens when someone doesn't let the story they were given become the story they live. You are the proof that healing is possible, that transformation is real, that there is life after the kind of loss that feels like it's going to swallow you whole. And I need you to hear this. Your soul, your beautiful soul delighting my heart, is not just about how you've changed. It's about how you stayed the same, the core of you, the thing that makes you who you really are, that was there before the hurt, and it's still there now. It's not gone. It's not broken. It's not diminished. It's maybe quieter, maybe more cautious, maybe more careful about who it trusts. But it's there, and it's beautiful, and it's real. So I'm asking you to do one thing for me. I'm asking you to look in the mirror right now and see what I see. See the person who went through the fire and came out not just unburned, but somehow impossibly more themselves. See the person who can sit with a broken heart and a delighted soul at the same time, and not have to choose between them. See the person who is no longer defined by what happened to them, but by what they did with it. And if you cannot see that yet, that's okay too. It takes time. It takes distance. It takes a whole lot of uncomfortable, messy, healing work. But it's coming. I promise you it's coming. The shift is already happening, whether you feel it or not. The ground is moving under your feet. The landscape of your life is changing. And the people who tried to break you, the ones who participated in the story that broke my heart, they are watching. They are seeing that what you are building. They are seeing, they are feeling the weight of what they did. And they are realizing that they didn't break you at all. They made you stronger. They made you more real. They made you into someone who can no longer be fooled by cheap limitations of imitations, also imitations of kindness, and who can spot manipulation from a mile away, who knows exactly what they bring to the table and isn't willing to give it away for nothing. You are not angry anymore. Not really. You might still have flashes of it, moments where it comes up unexpectedly, but it's not your resting state. It's not who you are. Who you are is someone who can look at what was done to them and still choose to be open, still choose to be generous, still choose to give the benefit of the doubt to people who haven't earned it. That's not naivety, not blindly, not without boundaries, but from a place of genuine abundance. And that right there, that's what I mean when I say your soul delighted my heart. Not because you are perfect, not because you figured everything out, not because you are a beacon of light that never stumbles, but because you chose to keep being you. The you that existed before anyone tried to tell you who you were supposed to be. The word that always knew deep down what was true. The you that never fully bought into the story they were selling. So here's what I want you to hold on to. Here's what I want you to carry with you. The story that broke my heart. I think it's over. It's done. It's history. It happened. It was real. It was painful. It left marks. And you don't have to pretend it didn't. But it's not the whole story. It's not even close to the whole story. The whole story is what you do next. The whole story is what you build from the rubble. The whole story is who you become in the aftermath. And who you are becoming, who you already are, is someone worth paying attention to. Someone worth respecting. Someone worth loving. Not because you earned it, not because you performed it, but because you showed up, because you stayed, because you didn't let the darkness win. And in a conclusion, I want to say that I'm seeing you. I'm seeing all of it. The broken parts and the whole parts. The parts that are still hurting and the parts that have already healed. And I'm telling you, it's dramatic. It's absolutely dramatic how you can hold all of this and still be moving forward. It's dramatic how you can be both the person who was hurt and the person who is healing. It's dramatic how your story can break hearts and your soul can delight them in the same breath. That's the miracle. That's the thing that doesn't make logical sense, that cannot be explained away. That's the part that people will look at and wonder how it's possible. And the answer is simple. It's possible because you did the work. You did the hard, unglamorous work of staying present with your own pain. You didn't run from it. You didn't numb it. You didn't distract yourself until it went away. You sat in it. You felt it. And you let it change you, not into something harder, not into something colder, not into something that couldn't be hurt again. That's not the change that happened. The change that happened is that you became someone who could survive being hurt. And that's a different thing entirely. That's not armor, that's strength. That's knowing that you can handle what comes. That's trusting that you will figure it out, whether it is, whatever it is. And so I will end with this, because it's the only thing that really matters. The people who broke your heart, they don't have the final word. The story that broke my heart, it's not the story you are living anymore. The community that failed you, they are feeling their own failure right now, whether they are admitting it or not. And you are free. Not in a theoretical way, not in a way that comes from someone else giving you permission. Free because you looked at the cage and realized the door was open. And free because you walked through it and you didn't look back. That's what's happening right now. That's what's already started. And it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep building, keep growing, keep becoming more and more of what it's meant to become. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. And the heart that broke is still beating, stronger now than it's ever been. And the soul that delighted mine is not done yet. It has so much more to give, so much more to become, so much more to show. Keep going. I'm watching, I'm reading. your comments, and I'm not the only one.